Productivity tip number 4, maximize your commute. Many of us drive to work and home from work every day. We have a commute that's going to take, anywhere from 15 minutes to 60 minutes, maybe even more sometimes. I know for me, a year ago, I was driving anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour to work in the morning, and it was driving me insane. And so along the way, I decided I was going to use this time more productively to help myself out for work and for home. And so in this video, I just want to share a few of the tactics that I use. And I'm actually shooting this one from our car in the parking lot of my day job, just to give it a little bit more of this is literally what I do when I drive to work. And so get ready here, buckle up. I couldn't help myself, dad jokes. And let's get moving on this one. Here are 5 ways that I do this. The first one is if I like to feed my spirit. And basically the way that I do that is I spend a lot of time either praying, listening to worship music, and singing along even in the car. I'm one of those folks. Or even listening to the Bible on apps that'll read it out loud to you. One of the best apps I use is Bible app, and it will read certain translations out loud to you. So that's something that I do to feed my spirit. A second thing that I do is I just listen to others and I learn. And the way that I do that is I'm listening to YouTube, not watching it, listening to podcasts or sermons or TED Talks, because there's always great information. And if you're in the car for 15 minutes or more, this is a great time to be able to take in some information as you go, learn something new, and build your knowledge and understanding. The third thing I do is I just work through details. All of us have to have doctor's appointments, go to the dentist. I spend this time calling in and setting up those appointments, or I'm notorious for negotiating my bills, whether it's the internet or medical bills or whatever else. So I call in the mornings when there's no hold times, or if there is, I'm stuck in the car anyway, so I can stay on and wait for that. So I spend some of that time working through that, and of course, do it hands-free. I work for an insurance company. I'd hate for you to get in a wreck because you're on the phone. And then something else I do is I just work my way through just some of the ideas that I have. I'll record some of my thoughts on my phone, just ideas that I have for work or for home, and make sure I have those so I can write those down later and use those in the future. And then the last thing that I do is sometimes I just sit quietly in my car and I just let the world go, and I stop for a little bit to just let my thoughts kind of go where they go. And this is really helpful when I spend time just decompressing the day right before I get home, is I want to make sure that I am just ready to step through the door and be there as a husband and as a father for my family. And so that's one of the other best ways to do this, is just stop, be quiet, and let your soul relax a little bit. These are 5 ways that I maximize my commute. There are probably a ton of others. I'd love to hear in the comments below what you do on your commute to make yourself more productive and to even provide a little self-care. And links to anything that I mentioned will be in the notes below. There's a blog post that I wrote that'll share more about that. There'll be a link to my book, and then also for the Bible app and just some of the other details in there that might be useful for you. Thanks so much for listening to this week's productivity tip, and we'll see you next Monday.